Hello everyone. Today, I'm instead of doing a full review of the BP02, I'm just gonna tell you guys what are the cards that I think are strong, and to look out for this expansion, and maybe you want to get your hands on them ASAP once the set comes up. So with that, let's start off with Forest. So Forest, none of the LR is strong, in my opinion. They might be good, but I don't think they are something that you need to look out for. What is strong is the GR. So basically for GR, we have Algaliza, which is 2 PP 2/3 follower. So while this follower is in play, damage your followers take from enemy spells and effect is reduced by 1. This is strong because a lot of the remover from control decks, especially Roon, are damage-based remover. So with this, you are able to mitigate some of the damage so that your opponent have a hard time removing your field. So for Forest, having field is important, especially when you're playing mid-range. So and then next you have Elf Knight Cynthia. Is a 5 PP 5/5 follower with Rush. The strike effect is you can banish a token or a card in your EX area, and then you choose an enemy follower or the leader, then deal 2 damage to it. At the same time, you summon 2 fairy. So this is very strong because it helps you flood back the board. At the same time, it's poking damage to your opponent's face. It's very good in mid-range or aggro forest. That's why I think this card is strong and will see play. And then next for the SR, we have Crystalia Lily, the 2 PP 1/3 follower. Comes into play. Look at the top 2 cards from your deck. You may put a Crystalia or follower from among them, add it to your hand. If not, put the rest of the cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then when you evolve this card, evolve cost is 2. You choose an enemy follower, put it at the bottom of that player's deck. So why this card is strong is because in Forest, right now, their remover are mostly bouncing back to hand, like Rose Gardener. So what I think is strong about this is you are able to remove the opponent card, put it at the bottom of the deck. That means your opponent will not have instant access to that card again. And I think this card will be very, very good because of the next set, Leonidas. So Leonidas is last word you summon a amulet. However, if you put it at the bottom of the deck, the last word don't trigger. So I think this card will be very, very strong in a control forest deck. And then let's move on to Sword. And then Sword, both the LG are very, very strong. So firstly, we have Albert, Lavine, Sabre. There's a 4 PP 3/5 follower. Evolve for 3. Evolve this follower. Evolve for 3 basically. Storm. So when it evolve, it gains this ability Strike. Stand this follower. This ability can only be used once per turn. And then also when you evolve, this turn, this follower take no better damage. So basically, it can trade with something. However, the best thing about this card is the ability to attack twice. So any damage buff on him becomes times 2. So if buff 1 attack on him, since he can attack twice, he is able to deal 2 additional damage. So this card is very strong. Aggro and mid-range will play this. Even Control will play this because there's a very combo with Leonidas where you drop him and Leonidas give him +3/+3 and he swing for 6 per hit. So meaning you are able to hit for 12. And yeah, this card will be very strong. And even though the evolve cost is 3, the effect is stronger than the effect is worth the evolve. And then next we have Alexander, a 6 PP 5/9 follower, Rush, direct attack. Then during your turn, when this follower deals damage to a follower by battle, stand this follower. So why I feel this card is strong is because this is the closest thing Sword have to a board wipe. Yes, this is the closest thing they have to a board wipe. So for Sword, their board wipe is a follower, basically. Basically that's it. You have Rush, direct attack. Even if your opponent followers are in stand, you're able to remove their follower. And because whenever it takes damage, it's stand during your turn. If it deals damage to whenever it deals damage to a follower, it stands. You can just keep hitting the full board. So imagine if Otohime comes down, this guy can just clear the full board of Otohime. Yeah, so I think that's the reason why Alexander is very, very strong. And then next, we have the strongest card in Sword, in my opinion, Leonidas. The 6 PP 5/6 follower. 1 to evolve. So when you evolve, you choose an enemy follower, deal 5 damage to it, and then deal 5 damage to this follower, meaning that once this evolves, this is a 6/2. However, this is good because of the last word. Last word, you summon a Leonidas Resolve, which is the 8 PP amulet token. And then whenever an ally Swordcraft follower come into play, give it +3 and +3 and rush. Okay? This is a upgrade to banner. I won't be surprised if Sword move on from aggro to mid-range because of Leonidas. Yes, even though banner you drop earlier, +1/+1 is still good. However, +3/+3 for additional cost of 2 mana, you got removal, you got a big guy. I think Leonidas is going to be a very, very strong card. And we're going to see play in Sword, and the Sword will more likely move towards mid-range and control from here on. And next, we also find that the GR, Amelia Silver Paladin, 4 PP, 3/3 follower. Choose one, you can choose a 3 PP or less follower from your hand, summon it, or 2, choose your enemy follower, deal 4 damage to it. This is a very strong tempo swing. So basically, either you drop a 4 mana 3/3 that remove a card on board, or you drop a 4 mana 3/3 and summon a 3 PP card from hand, or less basically 3 PP or less. However, the best scenario you get a 3 PP, the worst scenario you get a 1 PP, which is either a Quick Blader or Ninja. So even if it's a Ninja, it's 4 mana 5/5, so you're above stats. So I find this card very, very strong, and the flexibility of it, able to choose either of the abilities, is very, very strong. And then next, you have Aven Blader, more of a mid-range to control card. So it's a 4 PP 4/4 follower. Evolve 1. When you evolve this card, you search your deck for 2 followers and add them to hand. So I feel this card is strong for more mid-range Swordcraft, because for the 2 officer, you are able to search out Quick Blader and Novice Trooper, which are all Storm follower. And once you set out Leonidas, you can just drop this and then search for the Storm, and then start swinging your opponent with all the Storm follower. All of them get +3/+3. So your Novice Trooper become a 6/6, your Quick Blader become a 4/4. So this is why I think this card is strong. This card is strong because it's like a draw for Sword. Yeah, so it's play these, draw 2 cards, but the draw is search 2 cards, which is a lot stronger than drawing. Alright, then next we have Roon. Without a doubt, LG, the strongest. Daria. Daria would be the strongest card in Roon, and if you've seen any of the YouTube videos for the Japan players, they have already incorporated Daria in almost all that, even in OTK spell chain Roon, which I find very, very, very risky. However, people are still saying that the upside is a lot better than the downside, which I might not fully agree, but I do see their point. So Daria is a 6 PP 5/5 follower, 1 cost to evolve. So while this follower is in play, when counting for spell chain, count the total number of spell and rune card follower in your graveyard. So discard all card. Fanfare, discard all card from your hand. Put the top card of your deck into EX area. Repeat until your EX area is full. Okay, so this and then when you evolve, okay, same thing. When this follower in play, counting for spell chain, count number of spells and rune card follower in graveyard. However, when you evolve, you choose a follower in your EX area -5 cost, and you choose a spell from EX area -5 cost. So it reduces 5 mana, 5 cost for a follower and a spell in your EX area at the cost of only 1 mana. That's very, very strong. And it'll be good in a more mid-range Roon deck, where once you run out of steam, you will just drop Daria to replenish your hand. At the same time, if you're playing Trial of Light, when you activate Daria effect, Trial of Light get discarded in the graveyard, you can draw a card from Trial of Light. This is just one of the combo. And yeah, this card is very, very strong. Then there's already a few Spell Chain Storm Daria, so do look out for the deck. And yeah, because the ability to count your Rune card follower in your graveyard as Spell Chain could potentially push OTK Spell Chain a lot faster. However, at the cost of you risking to discard your combo. So do be careful with this card. This is all I'm gonna say. Do be very, very, very careful of this card if you're playing OTK Spell Chain. However, in any other deck, Earthright Rune and Burn Spell Chain, or Earthright Rune and Burn Spell Chain, this card is gonna be a must to play in the Rune deck. So watch out for this card because it's gonna come in very, very expensive. So I'm not very sure how the Japan is going to see this, but most likely this card will come in as one of the most expensive LG in this set. And then next, for the GR, you have Wind, which I think is very, very strong for Rune. Is a 2 PP spell, quick. So choose an enemy unevolved follower, return it to hand. Sorry. Put it, if spell chain 10, put it on top of the deck instead. So even though you might say, oh, it just returns to the hand, opponent can cast it next turn. Yes, however, the problem with Rune against Dragon right now is that they do not have hard removal against Dragon's follower. So most of Rune's removal are damage based, and they tend to spread the damage out. So it's like deal 2 to all and not say deal 10 to a single target. So it kind of make Rune hard to remove big followers. But with Wind, they are able to stop an attack, return the big follower to hand. So they have they won't have issue dealing with big followers. Even though opponent might cast it next turn, but they are just stalling for another turn, especially OTK Spell Chain Rune. Alright, and then next I think is very, very strong for Earthright Remy and Remy, Witchy Duel. Is the 3 PP 3/3 follower. 1 to evolve. So basically this got a 3 mana slot. And 1 evolve. And then when this evolve, you summon a strike form golem. Earthright give it +2 attack. So basically, at the cost of 4 mana, you have a 4/4 on board and a 4/2 on board that can remove 2 stuff. It kind of worked the same idea as Assassin, just that it's more of a soft remover, but this card will be good in an Earthright deck, so I think this card is strong. And then next we have Dragon. None of the LG in Dragon I find very strong. All of them are working towards a archetype that is called Discard, and I find that there ain't much strong Discard card in my opinion. And to be honest, this is the only card that I hype for Dragon right now. Any other cards I've seen, I find it kind of mid, I guess. Those cards are kind of mid. So the card we have is Dragonic Furvo. It's a 5 PP spell. You gain an empty play point op and restore 3 defense to your leader and you draw a card. The original is you draw 2 cards. So they have nerfed this card by reducing 1 draw. However, it is still very strong. What some people will tell you is that give Dragon 2 RAM is okay. Give Dragon 3 easy RAM, Dragon will be meta for that season, and it has been true for that. Anytime Dragon have 3 easy RAM, basically you do not need to evolve, you do not need to meet any weird criteria of having to have another card in hand or anything. When Dragon had 3 easy RAM, they dominate the meta, and I think that Dragon will still continue to be the deck to beat in this meta, especially with the release of Dragonic Furvo. They are just gonna boost their consistent of RAM again. And yeah, this card's gonna be the card most people are sought after for Dragon. If it comes out cheap when released, trust me, just grab 3 of this and no need to think about any other thing. Dragon would be strong with this. And next you have Nightmare. So Nightmare has not been very strong in BP01. I think it's one of the worst deck other than its aggro variant. But however, the aggro variant suffers because of how the game works. Because bot white are reduced. The cost of bot white are reduced, meaning they come down earlier. So it did hurt aggro quite a lot. But here we have a non-aggro card. Well, I think here there's more mid-range card lah. Okay, maybe Vania can be put in aggro. However, I've not seen anybody make it a full aggro deck. So you do have to get a good balance of bat and aggro in the deck. So first thing first, Vania, Vampire Princess, 2 PP, 2/2 follower. Fanfare, this card get +X. X is equal to the number of ally bats in play. Then to activate, you pay 1 cost. You put a forest bat into your graveyard. So the forest bat have to be on the field. So this is just a ruling confirmation. The forest bat have to be on the field. It cannot be in the EX area. And then choose an enemy follower. Deal 3 damage to it. Deal 1 damage to its leader. So you don't have to tap this. You just have to pay 1 cost to activate the effect. At the same time, it's not once per turn. Okay, you are putting a forest bat in your graveyard. There's not once per turn. 2, it's not. You don't need to send a untapped forest bat, meaning your forest bat after attack, they can be sent to the graveyard. Yeah, and these get +X. X got number of ally forest bat in play. So most likely you won't want to drop this on turn 2. You want this to drop this on turn 3. At the same time, if your turn 1 and turn 2 bats aren't removed, so basically we have this idea that you play sorry, let me check what's that card name, because that card is very seldom played. It's a 1 PP spell. It summons 1 bat on the field and 1 bat in the EX area. Okay, so it's called Summon Bloodkin. So on your first turn, you play Summon Bloodkin. On your second turn, you activate Summon Bloodkin again. You play another bat from the EX area. Okay, you got 3 bats on the field. On turn 3, you can play the last bat and then you drop Vania. So Vania now becomes a 6. Yeah, it becomes a 6/6, yes. On turn 3. 3 mana 6. Okay, let's say 3 mana 6/6, alright? There's a card later on that is 3 mana 6. Like, if you know, you know. It's already a lot of people are complaining that it will be hard to remove. However, if you're able to pull this combo, Vania is a 3 mana 6/6. That will be a lot more difficult to remove than a 3 mana 6/5. And because of that, I think Vania will simply, especially in a more aggro-ish mid-range deck. And yeah, I think Vania is very strong. And then next you have Soul Dealer. It's a 4 mana 6/5 follower. So for 4 mana, it is above stats. So a 6/5. And then evolve costs 2. And then you have ward, and when you fan fight, it deals 3 damage to your leader. That is not as nice, however. It's okay for Nightmare, I guess. And then when you evolve, choose an enemy follower, destroy it, add X defense to your leader. X equals the chosen follower's attack. So the 3 damage you take is fine because you're gonna destroy an enemy follower and you're gonna add that defense to your leader. So basically this card can heal, even though it does 3 damage to you, but most of the time you should be healing for more than 3. Alright? And you have ward, so it's gonna block another attack. And it's above stat. So I find this card to be quite strong. For a mid-range tempo. So it's at the same time, it also kind of works like an assassin. So you're removing 2 cards, but at the same time, it has heal. So if assassin is good, this is a lot better. And most likely this will be played in either control or mid-range Nightmare. So next we have GR. We have Underworld Watchman Kawi. So Nightmare right now do have a lot of good control and mid-range card where you're able to trade 2 cards for 1. Okay, so this card effect is this card 5 mana 5/5 follower ward. Last word, choose an enemy follower, destroy it, add X defense to your leader. X is equal to the chosen's follower attack. So you can choose an enemy follower to destroy as well. At the same time, if opponent trade with this, more or less they are trading 1 for 1. So you're able to clear 2 things on the board for 1 card, which is value. So you should win by resource with Nightmare with the introduction of current set. And then next we have Azizer with a 7 PP 6/6 follower. When you play this follower, Necro Charge 10, subtract 3 from its cost. So if you have Necro Charge, you just play this, its cost is 4. So in a perfect world, you might be able to drop this on turn 4, but I don't think you will because Necro Charge 10 is very hard to hit. I think the earliest should be turn 5 and turn 6. If you do not do anything but Necro Charge, I don't think turn 4 you should be able to hit Necro Charge 10. But that's fine because in order to get the evolve, you have to pay 1. So 5/6 is alright. So pay 1 to evolve. So it does have a fanfare effect. All enemy player discard a random card from their hand, and it also has been alright. So it also has been so if you evolve, it can remove anything on the field. Alright. And it causes opponent to discard a card, which means that opponent are losing resource against you. However, the evolve I think is a very gimmick card. However, it is possible in a control deck to make this a win con. So what it does is when you evolve, make the defense of all enemy leaders becomes 10. So what you do is you set up a board of 10 damage, alright? And if they survive and you're able to clear opponent board somehow, because Azizer, remember, he is a evolve follower, meaning he got rush, and with Bane, he's able to remove 1 ward. And if you're able to do that, after you evolve this guy, enemy leaders become 10, you can swing all your followers in for 10 damage and you can just kill off your opponent like that. OTK, a nightmare. I think it might happen, but I think this card is one card to look out for because if you underestimate this card, it's gonna come and bite you in the ass. Alright, and then next we have Haven. Of course, Haven, LG the strongest, Haveling Aegis. Okay, there might be some discussion being that, oh, Haveling Aegis cost 8 is too high. By then, you know, you're already dead to opponent, etc. However, what in my opinion is that if any craft can store well, it's Haven and Roon. Okay, so once Haven and Roon can store well, dropping Haveling Aegis is gonna be is not an impossible feat lah, basically. So it's a APPAA follower. Cost to evolve is 2, and then you can also discard 3 instead to evolve this follower, so you don't really have to pay 2. And then he also has aura, and then this card can be destroyed by card abilities. Okay, so meaning it's untargetable due to aura, and at the same time it cannot be easily removed. So you need to have AoE banish, or you have to kill it by damage, but by damage from follower hitting it, or mass AoE damage. However, when it's evolved, during this turn, your opponent during this turn and your opponent next turn, that means until your opponent next turn, this follower does not take damage, which, holy shit, this is unremovable for at least a turn. So once you evolve this, you put it in an attack position, this is 10 damage. If your opponent can't remove, that's 10 damage that is going to swing in their face. Alright, so, and even if your opponent set a board, you can drop Termin's Decree to clear the board and then swing Haveling Aegis in. So it makes Haveling Aegis a very, very hard card to remove. And there's a card that goes very well with Haveling Aegis from BP01. A card that nobody will thought will see play. Guardian Sun. So Guardian Sun, okay, I should have put it here, but I didn't. But let me just tell you the effect. Guardian Sun is a 1 PP amulet. Fanfare, choose an ally follower, give it ward. So the second effect is activate, pay 2 PP and act this card and put it into the graveyard. Choose an ally follower with ward, give it +2/+2. So you just need the first effect of Guardian Sun. It comes into play, you give Heavenly Aegis ward. And your opponent have very little way of killing you right now because they have to go through Heavenly Aegis by creatures. So this is one combo Heavenly Aegis will see play and I'll see play in control Haven for sure. And it's gonna be a very gimmick deck where you just can't hit opponent face because you have to do with a big Heavenly Aegis. Alright, so and then next you also have for the GR is Kaguya. So Kaguya is the 5 PP 4/4 follower. The cost to evolve is 2. Then whenever an ally amulet comes into play, choose an enemy follower, deal X damage, X equals the cost of the amulet. So if Fanfare, you choose a 3 PP or less amulet from hand, summon it. So this card is strong because you just comes in and basically deal 3 or less damage, and at the same time you can evolve and trade. So the evolve is the same thing. However, when you evolve, you summon an ephemeral moon, and then you add 3 to your leader's defense. So basically, you're healing up. And the ephemeral moon is a 3 PP amulet token. So during your turn, as long as this amulet in play, all of your ally Kaguya will not take any damage. At the start of your main phase, banish this amulet. So you do remember that whenever ally amulet comes into play, right? So ephemeral moon also comes into play when you evolve this card. So it deals 6 damage on board when you evolve Kaguya. Alright? When you play Kaguya, it deals 3, evolve, it deals an additional 3. And at the same time, Kaguya can trade for free as long as because it does not take any damage. But at the same time, do note that if there's a bane, your follower will get removed. Alright? And I think this card is a very, very strong for mid-range Haven. Amulet mid-range Haven, because you are able to gain a lot of tempo just from this one card. And then next, what we have is Elena's Prayer. GR is a 3 PP amulet, so whenever your leader's defense increase or ally follower get +1/+1, it's a very, very strong mid-range card as well, because if your opponent do not check this amulet fast enough, very soon you have a bot that will snowball off control. Is this seen in the phone game? And I'm pretty sure in this IRL game as well, Elena Prayer will be a very strong card that we do have to be careful. At the same time, it combos well with the previous Kaguya, because once you drop Kaguya, you drop Elena's Prayer, evolve Elena Prayer. Sorry, the evolve of Kaguya add 3 to your leader's defense, and Elena Prayer will proc is +1/+1 from here. Also, so this card is very, very strong. In my opinion, you'll see play this set, that's for sure. And next we have Beast Core Aria, which is a amulet for mid-range Haven. So Fanfare, summon a Holy Falcon, and then you have to activate, you pay 2 and act this card, put this card in the graveyard, you summon a Holy Flame Tiger. So we should make this card very, very good as well. So 3 PP comes in your Holy Falcon, which is a 2/1 that swing face for 2 damage. I didn't put in the token, but yeah, Holy Falcon, yeah, correct. So sorry, it's a Holy Falcon, 3 mana, 2/2 with Storm. Okay, so it's a 3 mana, 2/2 with Storm. Let me correct that. 3 mana, 2/2 with Storm. So it's not a bad card. I mean, you get to summon a Storm follower. Basically, it costs 3 mana to play as well. And then by paying 2, you can summon a Holy Flame Tiger, which is a 4 mana 4/4 rush. And 4 mana 4/4 with rush. So yeah, this card is going to be good in mid-range Haven. And then with that, let's go on to the neutral. So for neutral, we have the big Bahamut, which I think every control deck will be playing. So 9 PP 9/9 follower, evolve for 0. So it's as good as Lucifer. Though Lucifer is seen less play in current meta, however, Lucifer is still a must to play, I guess so. It's still a staple card in Dragon. So I think this will also be definitely a staple card in Dragon. So 9 mana 9/9, evolve for 0. If there are 2 or more enemy followers in play, this follower cannot attack the enemy leader. So Fanfare destroy all other follower. And then when you evolve, you destroy all amulets, and the drawback ability is still there. That means if there's 2 or more followers, you cannot attack the enemy leader. This card is strong. You more or less you'll be playing this for the bot white and removing amulet because it's just a remover. However, at the same time, you just threaten the bot with 9 or 11 follower, depending if you have evolve or not. And I think that this card is hard to remove unless you use a hard remover. But at the same time, even if it get removed, it already does its job of removing the bot and destroying all other follower and wasting your opponent mana to remove this card. Yeah. However, this can be easily countered if you just play 2 follower and don't attack, and Bahamut have no way of removing them. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Bahamut have no way of removing them. But shouldn't be a problem for most control deck as they play bot wipe. So they'll be able to wipe out all the small followers or the 2 followers that you play, and then Bahamut will swing for 9 or 11, which is gonna be very scary. I'll say. So okay, so next for GR, you have Demonic Simulacrum. This card has been a hot topic of discussion when it comes out as well. It's a 3 mana 6/5 follower. Fanfare deals 3 damage to your leader. Discard a random card from your hand. Okay, so at the cost of 3 mana, taking 3 damage and discarding a card, you get a 3 mana 6/5, which is a bit hard to remove on turn 3 or even on turn 4. And if you do not remove, this guy gonna swing you for 6 in the face. This card has been praised as a must to play in aggro deck. Yeah, it's a must to play in aggro deck. But we will see about that. I do have my doubts for its massive cost. Yeah, even though it's only 3 PP, but the 3 damage to your leader and discarding a random card from your hand might hurt this deck quite a bit. Might hurt you quite a bit if you're playing this card. Especially in the aggro deck where you already have very little hand size to play with. Maybe one of the deck that would like this card would be Nightmare, I guess. Nightmare, Crimson aggro, they might like this card, but yeah, it's still up for debate how strong it is, but it is strong. Definitely it is strong. However, it's just gonna see how bad the cost is gonna be for aggro decks. Oh yeah, do take note that you can drop this with Amelia as well, because Amelia, it does not state that it drops a 3/3 Swordcraft follower. It say a 3 PP, sorry, not 3/3, 3 PP follower from hand. So you can drop this with Amelia, making Sword have a 9/8 on board, basically a 9/8 on board by taking 3 damage and discarding a card, which is very, very huge tempo swing in most people's opinion, and in my opinion as well. And that's why I think this card will be very strong. And next we have Unicorn Dancer Unica. So it's a 2 PP 2/2 follower. Evolve for 1, which is very good. Strike add 2 to your leader's defense. Evolve is the same thing. Okay. Why I think this card is strong, because I find that in Nightmare, when Nightmare deal with aggro, they have this card called Lilith. So Lilith is the 2 PP 1/1. 2 PP 2/2 follower and summons a 1/1 bat in the EX area. Alright. However, because of the ability to evolve for 1, it makes it a very anti-aggro card. And the ability to heal back for 2 when it strikes is also very, very strong. So that basically you're removing a threat and you're healing for 2. Which I think make this card very strong as well, even though it doesn't have the summon a 1/1 bat. Most of the time Lilith, they put the bat in the EX area, they do not summon the bat as well. So getting a bat is just a plus. However, the more important effect is the add 2 to your leader's defense. So if your craft do not have a way to deal with anti-aggro, side game has just give you guys an anti-aggro 2 mana follower that you can play early on to remove their aggro. Making aggro deck a lot more weaker and weaker, I guess, sad for me. However, this card also can be playing Elena Prayer as well, making this card very, very strong. So you play this, you draw Elena Prayer, evolve this, hit opponent face. From a 3/3, it becomes a 4/4. I think it's strong. Yep, I think this card will be strong as well. And is that all for this set? Yep, that will be all for this set for the neutral. So these are the cards to look out for. Remember, when this set come out, get those cards if they are cheap ASAP. And then but just don't take it as a financial advice. But I think that most players should get them if they are cheap ASAP. Alright. And with that, thank you for watching.